It is Wednesday, April 23rd, and we are ready to start science. I want you to pull out your study guide page 167, and we are going to complete this and the back in your reading today. This also includes some review from yesterday, so look over your questions first to see what you remember and what you can go ahead and answer before we do our reading for today. Kind of testing your memory, testing what you learned. And today we're going to be talking about the electromagnetic spectrum. We are on page 254. It should look like this. You should see a key at the bottom. And when you watch the videos that I sent the other day, one of the videos actually went ahead and talked about the electromagnetic spectrum. So you heard them talk about different kind of waves already. They talked about ultraviolet rays when they talked about like being outside in the sun. And so some of that we're going to talk about today. You've already seen a little bit in the video, so hopefully you've had a good introduction. I'm going to help you as we read through this today, but I want you to keep this out and you to be looking and seeing what you can fill in as we go. I would encourage you to pause me right now so that you can read over and know what you're going to be listening for. A good student always knows and has an idea of what they're listening for. It will help you learn it better. So, pause me. Now, are you back? Okay. Now, hopefully you've read those questions and you're ready. So let's look at page 254. Even though we can see light waves, there are many kinds of waves that we cannot see. Like light, these waves are electromagnetic waves, but light is the only type that is visible to the human eye. Electromagnetic waves come from the sun and other sources. All electromagnetic waves travel at the same speed, but they have different wave lengths and frequencies. Electromagnetic waves can be arranged in order of their wavelengths. The arrangement is called the electromagnetic spectrum. Light waves have a specific wavelength and frequency. Other electromagnetic waves have shorter wavelengths and higher frequencies, or longer wavelengths and lower frequencies. Okay, and you have a video today that I'd like you to watch that's going to explain this well, and how there's all kinds of different waves going on right now that you can't see. They're invisible. Longer wavelengths. Radio waves are the longest kind of electromagnetic wave. Radio waves carry energy that is used for radio and television broadcasting. Sound information is added to radio waves by changing either the frequency or the amplitude of the wave. Antennas pick up radio waves from the air and send them through wires to the radio. The radio then changes the radio waves into sound. Radio waves are not used just for radios though. Garage door openers and baby monitors also use radio waves. Even wildlife tracking collars use them. The waves help track the location of wild animals. Wow. Isn't that amazing that people who can really understand this and see how these things can work can come up with all of these things that allow you to watch television, that allow you to open your garage before you even get there, that allow us to be able to get into our cars without using the key, putting the key in the thing and turning it. I can't really wrap my brain around it. I can understand, okay, it's wavelengths, it's things I can't see, but in understanding it, whew, I don't. People have to have in-depth study to truly understand these things and then that's the only way you're really going to be able to create anything. Microwaves have a shorter wavelength than radio waves do. Microwave ovens use microwaves. So when I say microwaves, don't think of the thing in your kitchen, okay? The microwaves are the waves that are the energy that's creating. That thing in your kitchen is called a microwave oven, even though we don't say it that way usually. They use microwaves to cook and reheat food. Cellular phones also use microwaves. Some radars use microwaves to detect the speed and location of objects. A police officer shoots microwaves from a radar gun. When a car passes, the waves reflect off it and return to the radar gun. The rate at which the waves return helps the police officer know how fast the car was going. Radar is also used to detect planes, to locate ships at sea, and to track weather systems. Isn't that cool? It's all using the waves at the frequency they come back, at how they're the different wavelengths. In the electromagnetic spectrum, infrared waves are between microwaves and visible light. The heat that you feel from the sun or a fire is from infrared waves. Infrared rays transfer thermal energy better than any other kind of electromagnetic wave. We call this kind of heat transfer radiant heat. All objects give off at least some infrared waves. It's really hard for me to say. Warmer things, such as people or animals, give off more infrared waves than cooler things, such as buildings. Our eyes cannot see infrared waves, but some equipment can detect them. Police officers can use this equipment to track criminals at night. Isn't that cool? Because they're seeing the heat. They're not seeing the actual objects. Their machines are picking up the heat. So if you see the image of the cat there, that's an infrared image because it's picking up the heat coming out of the cat. You can also use infrared waves each time you use a remote control. You do not see the infrared waves that go between the remote control and the television, but they are there. Each time you press a button, the remote sends an infrared wave that the television picks up. Some binoculars and cameras can change infrared waves into light that you can see. Satellites and space telescopes may use infrared cameras. Pictures from these cameras help scientists see things even when there is no visible light. Wow. Okay. So you may want to stop and see what you can go ahead and answer right now and then continue. With the video, this is really cool because you are in control. You can pause, you can fill out what you want, and then you can come back. Shorter wavelengths. Other waves in the electromagnetic spectrum have wavelengths that are shorter than that of light. Because the waves are shorter, their frequencies are higher. So if it's got a short wave, you're going to have more in a second if it's a short one rather than if it's a long wave. These waves are also invisible to humans. The wavelengths of ultraviolet rays are just a little shorter than those of violet light. Ultraviolet rays cause some materials to glow. Some things, such as glow-in-the-dark balls, can absorb the rays and give off visible light. In normal light, we do not see the glowing colors of the ball, but in the darkness, the ball glows. Ultraviolet rays can help keep people healthy. Some kinds of bacteria are harmful if found in water or food. Ultraviolet light can detect some kinds of bacteria, so it is used to test food areas. The rays can even kill some kinds of bacteria. Some hospitals use the rays to sterilize their equipment. Small amounts of ultraviolet rays help your skin cells produce vitamin D. But too much of these rays can cause wrinkles, sunburn, skin damage, or skin cancer. You should always be careful when outside. Most of these waves are absorbed by the ozone layer of the atmosphere. Isn't that amazing, God's design of the world? He knew that the rays from the sun would be dangerous to us, and so we have the ozone layer to protect us from most of those rays coming through. Using sunscreen lotion. However, rays from the sun can reach the earth even on cloudy days. I'm proof of that. I have been on a beach on a cloudy day and still gotten sunburn. The sun still gets through. Using a sunscreen lotion with a high sun protection factor, it's called SPF when you look for the sunscreen. I've always gotten SPF 1 million because I burn so easily, can protect you from getting too much ultraviolet light. X-rays are a type of ultraviolet light. They carry a lot of energy and can pass through a variety of materials. Now that's why Marie Curie, in all of her work with the X-ray, she was harmed in a lot of her work with that, and the women that were helping her transport those X-rays. X-rays occur naturally. Many things in space, such as stars and comets give off X-rays. X-rays can also be produced by machines. Marie Curie took some of the first X-ray machines to the front to help save lives. Doctors use X-rays to see the bones inside someone's body. X-rays can pass through skin and muscles but are absorbed by bones. The place where the X-rays are absorbed the most show up as bright spots on the X-ray film. Too much exposure to X-rays can cause cancer. That is why dentists and doctors use special coverings to protect the parts of the body that are not being X-rayed. Early X-ray scientists, as well as those who used X-rays, did not know of these dangers. In fact, Marie Curie eventually died from overexposure to X-rays. For a long time, X-rays have been used on pieces of art. Historians can use X-rays to see whether a painting was painted on top of an earlier one. Sometimes an old canvas was reused in order to save money. At other times, the painting on top might be a forgery, a painting made to look as though someone else painted it. X-rays can also be used in industry and engineering. Some factories use X-rays to inspect packaged goods as they move along production lines. Engineers can X-ray structures made of steel or concrete. The X-rays show if there are any tiny cracks. Airports use X-rays for security and to check baggage. Okay, 258. The shortest waves in the electromagnetic spectrum are called gamma rays. The sun and other stars produce gamma rays. Gamma rays are very powerful and can cause serious illnesses. When used in a controlled setting, though, gamma rays can be very helpful. They can treat some kinds of cancer. The rays can also be used to sterilize bandages and other medical equipment in a process called irradiation. Irradiation can help some foods stay fresh longer if gamma rays are used to kill bacteria in the foods. God has given people the command to learn about electromagnetic energy as well as the minds to do so. Scientists and engineers have gained much knowledge about the electromagnetic spectrum. They have learned to use nearly the entire spectrum to benefit people. As we learn how people, plants, and animals use these energies of light, we can glorify God for His infinite wisdom and creativity. And I think that that is absolute truth as we look at how our world works. This whole book is meant to cause us to worship as we see how God uses the world that He has created and what it was that it is doing exactly what it was created to do. Now, in your comments, I want you to answer number 13 in your comments because there could be several different ways that you can answer this, and I want a good sentence. Remember, even on your comments, I'd love to see capital letters and periods so you're practicing your writing your sentence well. So 13 says, why is it important for Christians to study light? So answer that well for me. Christians should study light and then tell me why.